Hi, how you doing? It's me, Gerald, the Earthling. Yes, watching this week with Christian Amanpour, and here, let me turn it down a little bit. And of course, it was a political roundtable, and finally, not finally, after all these weeks, they're actually talking about the Occupy Wall Street demonstration, the Occupy Portland, Occupy LA, Occupy Chicago, Occupy. Uh, they're called different things, but they're all the same deal. That Wall Street rips us off. These people, the politicians and such. I mean, even they've got media on here that are answering questions so guardedly that you don't have an answer. And it's like, well, you're answering the question before they even talk, and they're not saying what you answer. You know what you feel the answer should be, well, because they're afraid to say the truth. They're afraid to just speak up and say the freaking truth. They keep saying things like this occupation, the people. Well, one guy said something like he goes, "There's a whole generation out there on Wall Street. One generation? Are you crazy?" The other guy says, "The left over the." No, it's not just the left. And then old George Will, yeah, he's what a frosting on the cake, isn't he? Talk about your conservative mouthpiece without the vehemence of Rush. Yeah, good old Limbaugh. And Beck. A couple of real Nazis. Of course. However, considering I'm a writing candidate for president of the United States, this is part of my basically my platform and my commentary on like other candidates and so on and so forth. Obama has, Barry, I'm sorry, but you've betrayed us. Not just betrayed us, but you're a traitor. I don't care about the birther thing and all that crap about being Muslim. You chose Christianity at your life. At this stage of your life, at your adulthood, just because of politics, you chose to be delusional. See, people like me, a lot of us, we really, when you did that, chose Christian. I guess I'll be a Christian. The fuck? What do you mean? I guess I'll be a Christian. You're still an atheist. You don't believe that stuff. But you need to be honest. You're a liar. You're not being honest, and it's just crazy. Even your oldest daughter, we see the pictures when you come out of a church. She's never coming out of the church. I notice that she's always sitting on the sidewalk when they photograph her. Yeah, she's an atheist. It's a good thing. It means that she has no delusions or myths to get in the way of critical thinking, science, real political science, which means telling the fat cat, Wall Street fat cats, that there needs to be a wage cap, a maximum wage cap. There has to be. So, it's just crazy. If you make profit on investment, that's one thing, but this getting paid $10 million when you get fired, that kind of shit's crazy. You know how many people that can feed and house? Let's say you can go ahead and build 5 homes for the homeless. Wouldn't you feel better knowing that you've actually homed some people? Never mind. You guys don't feel better. That's the problem. And I've said it before. There's nothing wrong with the economy, really. It's just these greedy fucks sitting with their trillions of dollars in the bank just so they can brag about being the richest in the world, just don't want to share. They can take our economy and put it right back where it needs to be. They can put people to work, home the homeless, house the homeless. There's so much they can do, but they just won't because they're just greedy. And I don't get it. Why, and then these the media and the politicians and everything, of course they need to assuage their feelings. Well, fat cats. So they have these guarded answers every time you ask them a question. They can't just come out and say, well, they're just greedy and they need to stop being so damn greedy, and that's what's really wrong. No. What do you think Occupy Wall Street is really about? That's what it's about. We're tired of the greed. And I think if the rest of them hear this about the wage cap and some other things that the president could probably do through executive order, they might agree. That might be part of our chant, our mantra, or whatever. But trust me, don't go looking for a leader like George Will says. Oh, I really, I wish them good luck on their continued life. And we don't care if we have continued life. It doesn't matter that you recognize us as a body. We want you to hear the point we're trying to make. You need to hear what the demonstration is really about and not just sit back in your little studios and comment on them. All you have to do is walk down the street, for crying out loud, and ask somebody. You won't do that. And then you got these Tea Party tea baggers coming on and talking about them as if they're some kind of a riotous mob. Like how the police immediately went out in riot gear, to confront them, as opposed to going out and asking them, well, what's going on? So the guy gets up and talks about how he's afraid of the mob, and he's really got continued concerns with the mob going on in all the cities around the country, blah, blah, blah. It's setting Americans against Americans. And at the same time, somebody needs to put a little clip up of the tea baggers in their little demonstration where they were spitting on soldiers and spitting on members of Congress, and signs that read death to this and killed the fags and all the other crap that Westboro comes up with. And yet he says, they need to show that while he's talking about Americans against Americans. I'd love to be able to edit. I would do that. Oh, I know who I can get to do that. I'm going to collaborate, because this is part of my platform, to try to end the greed, because that's really important. Ending the greed. And bringing our troops home is not a big deal. First of all, we're going to end all contracts with private security firms. It's bullshit. Our soldiers have been doing that work for decades, for hundreds of years. And now we're going to continue to do it. We're going to do our own logistics. Because when you leave it up to the private companies, you end up with crap. Just ask the soldiers. They have no armor half the time, no ammo half the time, no food, it's just bullshit because of this Blackwood or whatever it is. Whoever it is now, Kilobarton or whatever. I don't care what the name is, really, because it's bullshit. The energy thing. Enron gets busted. Artificially inflating energy prices. Yeah. They get busted doing it. They even lose the company. I mean, they just go totally broke and lose everything because of this kind of crap, because they're liars, because they're fraud. They set it up. And California even has to do these brownouts, to save energy and to conserve so that they don't, because the price is so high, blah, blah, blah. And Oregon gets screwed up, and same thing happens. And they all get busted doing it. Artificially inflating the energy prices. Remember that. They get busted, everything. They go to jail, some of them do, they get fined or whatever. But do the prices go back to the original legal level? No, that was a rhetorical question, by the way. They do not. They're still up at the illegally inflated prices. I don't get it. Why would we not get a return or they had to pay a fine, right? Restitution? Shouldn't that go back to the consumer? And shouldn't the price go back down to the legitimate level? Yeah, I'll make sure of that too. We'll work on that. That won't be too hard. I mean, come on. You go in there, talk to Congress, tell them either you do it or you don't. I'm the president. Executive order is going to make it happen. If you don't come to grips, the American people will love you. But no, they don't pay attention. They really don't. They don't realize that if they actually profess to be, get rid of the religious mythological crap. Oh, and by the way, that's another thing. This non-separation, this Christianization of our fucking country is going to end. I will cut and do away with, by executive order if I have to, so-called congressional chaplains, Army, Navy, military chaplains, which is an oxy fucking moron. I don't get that. You want to be a Christian? You want to be a soldier for God? You do that in your church. You don't do that in my Army, my Navy, my Air Force. There are no Christians. There are no theists in foxholes. Trust me. First sergeant hears you pray. He's going to say, hey, I need you here, right now, in reality, not in la la land. You get that? Oh, there's so much that can actually be done by executive order. Excuse me. As president, I can do those things. Okay, so I've got a criminal record. It's very old. I was a young man. I mean, all those things. They can talk shit all they want. Yes, I'm an atheist. I was born atheist. Everyone is. Just think about this, though. I don't wear magic pajamas. I don't believe in magic, period. Everybody, that's what they do. They argue against evolution and science, and all we hear is, I don't get it, so it must be magic. Must be the magic guy in the sky. Zap, zing, 7 days. That's magic. Not a miracle, it's magic. You idiots. Not that I believe it's magic, but that's what we call it. And we don't believe in it. It's not real. It's like, yee. It's like you're Zen this, Zen that. What the fuck? Who cares? Zen this, Zen something else. How are you going to get one energy with an energy with like a television or something? Just no, never mind. That was just a little corny side comment. There are some other things though that I could bring up. Especially the religious thing, the separation. There's going to be true separation because I'm telling you, the founding fathers really had in their mind freedom from religion. The whole point was the English, the British monarchy were wanting everyone to be Anglican. You had to be the Church of England. Blah, blah, blah. No more Catholics. You can't be Catholic. There's even a war going on to this day in Ireland against Protestants and Catholics. It's just the silliest fucking unbelievable. People will still do that in this day and age. Caucasians. Well, that's because I speak my mind at, reality, rational. If you don't like something I say, let me know and tell me why. Tell me why you don't like it. Am I being rude to the Christians? Well, it's them that threaten everybody. They're the ones who are saying if you don't believe the way we believe, they're going to have you tortured and burned forever and ever. Yeah, go figure. But getting back to the write-in platform, my platform, it's really rather simple. There are three major things that can be done through executive order that will just turn this country right around. It would cut, for one thing, the one thing about the military and the private security, that's going to cut military spending by about 30% immediately. Billions and billions of dollars, maybe $1 trillion, are not going to be spent privately. They're going to go back into the coffers of the military and the Pentagon, which has to be looked at closer. By the way, we can't just have wars willy-nilly. We can't just say we're the national and the federal police force and the world police, not really be police. Do it the special forces did it the first year or so in Afghanistan. They got rid of the Taliban. They were gone. But then you guys make deals with the warlords again and all that crap. You just turn it right back over to them. Even the government. Karzai, he's the one who fucking signed an order that gave law to the ability to marry a 9-year-old girl. Yeah, he okayed Sharia law right there in Kabul. So don't, you know, and the special forces guys, the guys that did the real work back, in the first, they were pissed. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you people? Why are you doing it? And they did it. Now Afghanistan is overrun again. It's the same thing. Nothing has changed really. Could have been changed. They could have immediately went in there with real construction gear, made some real roads and blah blah blah, built up some infrastructure right away, and that would count. That would work. Some infrastructure, immediate communication, that would help. And they really have to knock down Sharia law. That is the most inhumane treatment of people. Yeah, religions are bullshit. There's no omnipotent, omniscient creature making all these little rules. Like, I mean, could you imagine? He tells Judah, by the way, I want you to cut off a piece of your boy's penis to have a covenant with me, to prove you love me. Excuse me? I'd have to say, what are you, some kind of pedophile? No, not gonna. Not gonna kill my son either. You'll see things like that that are in the Bible that I read and I repeat with, well, facetiousness, real sarcasm, because they're ridiculous, therefore need to be ridiculed. That's my film for today, my video for today. I might make one later, you never know. But good afternoon. Please, I'm serious. Write in, vote for me, Gerald R. Reynolds, Jstnearthling, for president.